An early opportunity passed up from Moreno. Heenahan pins tops.
40.
So for a 4-0 whitewash and an absolute hammering, Heenahan bags the points in the opener. It is a 4-0 and the fan club goes wild. The live lounge atmosphere is electric. Heenahan salutes his fan club here in Portsmouth, and the Group A winner has started at some pace, averaging 85.89. Good stuff from Heenahan, and that smile says it all. He knows he has 1 foot in the semi-final already because of that leg difference. But after the break, we go into Group 2 and we see Mike van Dijvenbode against Tom Lonsdale.
The join of the stem and the flight, it's actually tapered away from the join
108
towards the middle part of the stem, which means that if the point hits that, it's just going to glide off. However, we've been watching them for a few seasons now, haven't
96.
we? We're seeing more darts on the floor
96.
as a result of collisions, and they're different collisions than we are used to. Definitely an ongoing topic.
Well, Dave Chisnell's one that springs to mind as Van Dijvenbode pins the 96 and leads 3-0. And at the moment, this is a carbon copy of Game 1 for another drubbing and 4-0. That looks a fabulous guide. Surely. Yeah, finds the top corner of tops. And Mike van Dijvenbode wins here on finals night in Group 2, 4-0. And just look at him, puff of the cheeks there. He knows that that is a huge result. Thanks to fans on the way off, that the standard wasn't the same as Game 1. The result was Van Dijvenbode takes a huge step towards the semi-final. But coming up after the break, it is all or nothing for Moreno Blom.
2, and whoever takes leg 1 wins.
Should we write 4-0 down now?
Nah, it's never that simple.
But what is simple, that leg from Scott Mitchell means that Conor Heenahan is a semi-finalist mathematically.
He's probably in the mood where if he threw porcupines at the board, he wouldn't hit a double.
It's an absolute doubling disaster for Blom. Mitchell for 3-0. It is pins double 5. It's in Scott. You don't have to look twice, I can tell you.
He's done that a few times this week. The fans want to see more darts, Moreno. Entertain them. Yay! He's hit a double! Now he's got some fans and he's got a smile on his face as well. As quick as it was on.
$22. Scott, you require
For someone who loves tops, this is the other side of the board.
This could get awkward.
But
Mitchell finds it. Scott Mitchell, after a little bit of messing around on the outer ring, does book his place in the semi-finals along with Conor Heenahan from Group 1. 4-2 win over Moreno Blom, the 2015 world champion. Will be back in a straight shootout to decide who tops Group 1. But coming up after the break, Tom Lonsdale needs a result, but Thomas Banks is in his way.
And you've just seen, as part of our highlights package, Banks hitting this week. And again. Darts is about repetition after all. And Thomas has got some fans here. He's brought a legion with him. Of the week, 4-0, because we've had an extraordinary amount of last leg deciders. But based on that argument, I don't think we're going that far in this one.
I completely agree. The writing is well and truly on the wall. Banks averaging 97 at the moment. Lonsdale does not have the answers. And hold on a minute.
108.
We haven't had one on a Saturday night yet, Nico. Is this the moment?
134.
We always say the right time to hit a 9-darter is the last leg of a match. He was almost apologising before the dart hit the board.
I don't know if you can see, Mike van Dijvenbode has come out to have a look as well.
That's a rarity. Nobody does that.
79.
Like
Double 10.
Thomas, you require 20.
To serve the bagel. Double 5. Ooh, it's just got a bit messy.
No score. Tom, you require 117.
for a lifeline. He needs tops.
97. Thomas, you require 20.
It's probably a good thing that Banks has come back to tens, because now he's going to the semi-finals for the very first time. It takes him one game to do it, and he might just do it as the Group 2 winner. We'll have to wait and see what happens between Banks and the Pigeon, because that will be a shootout in game number 6. We said goodbye to Moreno Blom, and now we say adieu to Tom Lonsdale after a very hard week, and after 25 matches, Lonsdale goes back to Bridgewater, but Banks goes to the semi-finals. This game through quicksand.
80 for Heenahan, but this could be awkward. How much of it can he see? Needs to move across. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I love that celebration. It's a break of throw. It needs to be maximum pressure. Willie, just hit it.
140.
I like that. Make Jack call it out. Make Heenahan think. But Heenahan gives a wink to the crowd, a wink to the camera. He beats Scott Mitchell 4-2. He will top Group 1 and have the darts in the semi-final. The Heenahan fan club erupt here at the Live Lounge as the pair there share a word as they walk off. There we have the numbers, tail of the tape. Coming up after the break, Banks versus Van Dijvenbode. The winner will top Group 2.
Thomas, you require 100.
He's got moulded flights as well. And he's also got a 100 checkout on 2 double tops. As if he hits this. Listen.
Game shot on the match. Thomas Banks.
That's what happens when you hit a checkout on the bullseye at the Live Lounge. This place has erupted. Half the job is done. Thomas Banks wins Group 2 and beats the Pigeon to the punch. But they're both going to the semi-finals, and that ensures that Conor Heenahan is going to take on Mike Van Dijvenbode in the first semi-final. It's going to be Banks against Mitchell. What a game that is going to be. 98.9, one of the best performances of the entire week. And this place now is buzzing before the semis.
Sounded like a lot of metal involved in that.
Oh boy. That's what he can do. And Van Dijvenbode knows now that this shot has just become pressure-filled.
May only get a dart of the ball. Treble 20 for double 12 is the preferred route. 14 or treble. Treble hit. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And look at that celebration from the Pigeon. This match is turbocharged from both of them. Sure, it was the right play because the dart up and down to avoid the flight was tough. And Heenahan steps in. Look at him.
Heenahan is on the block, waiting for the gun to go off. Can Mike bring it back? That is gutsy. What a semi-final this is, which is white hot.
That first dart is perfect. It's saying fill me up. Mike's nodding in the background. The Pigeon knew.
Mike might not even get a chance to win this match. And the reason for that is twofold.
140.
He didn't have the darts in the last leg. And he might be deflected by an opponent who refuses to lose. But we have seen a lot of games this week where match starts have been missed. There's only one job left though, and it is just that. To put the full stop on the first semi to get into another final.
134.
Pressure applied. Heenahan, 56 after 9 to bring the curtain down on a white hot semi-final. And he has done it. no, he's into the final again. What a game, gentlemen. What a game. Take a bow. The live lounge erupts for both players. They have served up an absolute treat in semi-final number 1. And look what it means to the Irishman. He is into another final here at the Super Series. And he will have time on his side. He needs to go back, get the adrenaline down and prepare for the final. But superb, Mike van Dijvenbode. We didn't know where his game was. He can leave here with his head held high. But coming up after the break, the second semi-final, Mitchell against Banks. Room 101 for Mitchell. Treble 19. Finds it, double 12 for a level game.
89. Thomas, you require 51.
For a 3-1 lead. Double top again.
Game start on 4th leg, Thomas Banks.
Where you find out who you are as a dart player. Cool as a cucumber. And Scotty Dog lives. He denies Mitchell. He denies Banks, in fact, in your first final. In what has been a very, very tough week. Here comes Scotty Dog. Wonderful. The last chance for a maximum in the match comes from the man in pink and black. But it's red. It's green.
117.
Wow.
Scott, you require 106.
2 match darts missed. Mitchell could punch his way to his first final with this.
What an effort from Banks, but it may be in vain. It's tops for Mitchell. And Mitchell has missed as well. Look at him, he thought that was in.
He seriously thought that was good.
40.
If this goes in, listen to this, Portsmouth.
Game shot and the match, Thomas Banks.
The knockout punch from the Bulldog. And Banks is in the final against the favourite. What a great semi-final that was. If you thought the first one was good, that one was just a little bit better. Because both players did have a shot to win. And we have our final. It's going to be England against Ireland. Someone in their umpteenth final. And Banks in his first. Wow, what an evening it has been. 2 4-3s in the semis. And what a great performance that was from Banks, who yet again averages over 90. For the night, he's been the best player statistically. And it'll be interesting to see if he can bring it again in a mere 10 minutes' time when the final starts. Do not go anywhere. It's Banks versus Heenahan after this. It's got to go left. Very well done. This game is not just about 130 checkouts.
Thomas, you require 120.
And again, on throw, it's advantage Banks. Tops to lead again.
Game
brilliant.
shot on 3rd leg.
Tongue topper from the Bulldog. He gets a thumbs up. And just think about it from his dad.
If Banks was to win this match, all of a sudden, once again, people would be saying, there's another person under the age of 18 who can play. However, this game is destined to go down to the finest of margins.
Yeah, this is going to be 3-all. And then just who holds the composure the better. You can just see it now.
139.
That's fine. Whether he wanted the 19 or not, that's absolutely fine.
140. Connie required 24.
Double 12. He doesn't need double 3 this time. Best of 3 legs to determine who wins week 9. It's useful,
require 80.
but it's not useful enough. Double 10. Just isn't missing.
On the 5th leg, Thomas Banks.
He's getting better as the night goes on. Titles have been won on 138 before. This one will not be by Thomas Banks.
98. Connie require
But can Connor save the match on that number? There's your answer. Double top.
43. Thomas, you
For
require
possibly
40.
the win of his life.
Game, shot, and a motor Super Series Week 9 champion, Thomas Banks!
Thomas has broken the banks. And he's going to come back to Champions Week at the end of the month. What a performance that is. The numbers reflect that the man who was 9-1 at the start of the night was apparently the outsider. We said he wasn't. He's just proven that he is the last man standing in Week 9. That's a nice moment as Mr. Banks hugs Daddy Banks. A very busy time is coming up for that young man, and he has proven that Luke Littler is not the only 17-year-old who can play this game. He's invited Simon Adams onto the stage for a bit of a hug. Well, that's a nice moment as well. But there is only one man standing at the end of Week 9. What a nice touch that is. Just a sign that sometimes the players in the practice room all week, they do get along, and some people can teach very, very good things to the youngsters. Thank you for everything you've done this week, Simon, but thank you for that, young Thomas. What a final. What an experience here on Saturday for the man who is about to talk to Phil Bars on the stage. He's won Week 9, and my word, that was something else. Down to the stage we go then. Your winner of Week 9 is with Phil Bars.
Thomas, congratulations. What an incredible night here at the Super Series. Your smile says it all. Just sum up how you're feeling for us right now.
I'm feeling buzzing. Like, honestly, this week has been such an amazing week, and I feel like this is definitely the top of my achievements.
You've got better and better as the week's gone on. I know you said going to Group C was a disappointment, but boy, have you put it right. And tonight, you have been absolutely outstanding. What was it been like, pressure games?
I mean, in the last two games against Scott, 3-1 up, and all my darts were going low, and I was just dragging. And against Connor, we've got on all Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I thought if I can get one on him in the most important match, I'll be happy.
Stepping up for that winning double, championship winning double, what's going through a very young mind?
Everything's shaking. I don't know whether to throw up. Like, honestly, I couldn't. It's just what moments are made for, aren't they?
Look, we saw what Luke Littler did here as a 17-year-old, and there will be comparisons made. Are you ready for those comparisons?
Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. I'm ready. I feel as if my game's come on a lot, and I know Luke's every step of the way there with me. As you can hear with the crowd, I couldn't thank him enough, but Luke messaged me all week. He's been brilliant with me. He's been telling me like what his experiences are, and I couldn't thank him enough, and good luck to him in Australia.
Look, the live lounge here has been rocking all night, and what's it like when you've got them in your corner?
You know, I didn't even believe half of them were coming. Like, honestly, I thought I had no one here to support me, so when they walked in, and I just disbelief. And it's brilliant to have Simon and Scott. I've been with them Group C and Simon all week, and they've been really helpful. They went out for food last night and before tonight, and they've been really helpful and given me the best advice all week. Simon, he's done amazing for South African youth darts and darts in general, and he's been more of a coach to me this week as an opponent. And I love him to bits, Couldn't thank him enough.
The Thomas Banks train doesn't stop from here. You've got a big ADC event tomorrow as well, because you want to come back here, part of the Global Championship, the tour ending. So what's it like being you at the moment with so much darts to play?
I just love playing darts. Like, I'm shattered, but I got to do a job tomorrow still. I focused on this all week, and now I can start to focus on ADC tomorrow, and it's just going to be a great night. I'm just going to hit the pillow and go to sleep.
And at Champions Week now beckons. There's a lot on the line, not more than £25,000. What would that mean to get your hand on the cheque and the trophy?
I just take one game as it comes. No matter what group I'm in, I'll put all my effort into it. Hopefully I'm in Group A, because I like playing a lot of darts, and I feel like I'll get better and better throughout the week. Group B, be a bonus. Like, if I'm starting in Group B, happy days. But just take one game as it comes, and hopefully all these people will be down here to support me in the Champions Weeks on Saturday night.
Well, now it's time to get hold of the trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, your
your Series 8 Week 9 champion, Thomas Banks.
Wow, what a night, what a final, and what a champion, what a prospect for the future Thomas Banks is. And not just does he fill it in the way that he plays the game, but the way he goes about the sport, the way he conducts himself. There's Dad, probably the proudest dad in Portsmouth tonight. And, well, a classy week has got a classy champion, and maybe we have unearthed and emerged another fine talent in Thomas Banks.
The future is now. The future is not tomorrow. What you're seeing is the emergence of another generation of players. Last year, we were very proud to bring you Luke Littler and everything that's gone on from there. He has done that himself with his team and his family, his sponsors and everything, but there's more. And this is Thomas Banks proving to the world that darts is in such a great place with the young generation. The future is now. The future is up to him. What he does next could be very seismic in his own right. I think tonight has been a feel-good night. I think you believe the same, Henry. But we're getting the same sort of vibes that we got last summer, and we want to go through it again.
There was such a purity, especially that moment we just saw there with Thomas and his dad. And sometimes we forget about the journey, not just what the players go through, but what the family goes through. And those are special moments, and I know he's a young man who's got a great future, but you just don't know how many nights you're going to have like this in the sport.
Yeah, that's true. It might be the only one. So you've got to enjoy it while it's here. But it's very late here in Portsmouth. It's 11 o'clock. In about an hour's time, everything's going to settle down. He's going to think, I've actually got a tournament to go to tomorrow. I've got a lot more to do. But think about something like this. When he's a kid and he's seeing all these things on social media and he says to his parents, Dad, can you take me to this tournament, which is about 2 hours away? And that parent has obviously said, yes, we will harness this talent with you. We'll give you the vehicle to go and do things like this. This is exactly what it's for.
Well, he's still celebrating with the people that are alongside him. And as you say, he's got to go to Aylesbury tomorrow. He was top of the ADC Tour Championship order merit. Of course, he's relinquished that because he didn't play there today. Andy Bolton's overtaken him. But he's going to go into that tournament tomorrow on the crest of wave. He could end the weekend Super Series champion into Champions League. I actually calculated it. He could appear here after this week another 5 times by the end of 2024 because of the Championship Tour, the Global Championship, and the Champions League he's about to play in.
That can't be a bad thing, right? He's fast, he's exciting, he's attaining new levels of performance, and he's averaged over 98 twice tonight. And if I may say so, he's needed to, because he's been pushed by some of his opponents. I think Mike van Dijvenbode, I think Conor Heenahan can leave this place with their head held high. This week, it was at times attritional, but my word, it was like a symphony that was just bubbling at a very base level, and then towards the end, the crescendo was all cymbals. It was fabulous tonight, really enjoyable.
Well, let's talk about the final and talk about how Thomas won it, because it was a nip and tuck affair, wasn't it, against Conor Heenahan. But at 3-2, Thomas just found that extra gear, which we've seen so many times from him this week, and this was the moment that done it.
His entire week has been about tops and tens, and that double 10, he will never forget it. He said it was the biggest achievement in his career so far, and I'm going to emphasize on the so far bit, because we want people like Thomas to succeed even more. This might just be a platform, but when you do it in front of the cameras, under the lights, in front of the people, it just means more than when you do it in a hall with lots of boards. Because
he's got a big end of the season ahead of him. As we mentioned, that ADC Tour. He's going to be guaranteed a space, obviously, at Champions Week. We'll see him in another regulation week here later on in the year at some point. He's also going to return for the Championship Tour finals. He's also got the Global Championship. Between now and December, if he carries on the way he's going, his CV could be superb at the age of 17. When we host the Global Championship here and the ADC Tour finals, we're going to be picking statistics apart, thinking of these players, who has won here? Now we know he has. And you think about someone like Simon Adams, for instance, inspiring Thomas. What about the other way around? Who has Thomas inspired tonight? I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would say that he has. And we've mentioned, obviously, the Luke Little effect following what he did at the World Championship. The fact you've got Thomas Banks doing now, obviously Jenson Walker we've seen do well here at the Super Series too. And so obviously players that are slightly older, the likes of Cam Crabtree, Owen Bates that we've seen do well here, Jared Cole to name another one. The future of this sport is in very safe hands, and things like this could be massive in terms of helping sport go forward. Have a look at that. The young and the old, and that is what the Super Series is all about.
And it's not just that as well, because the superstars that we are talking about, they're getting younger and younger and younger. They're under the age of 18, and we're starting to look to the kids coming through. And I mean that loosely, because we're looking at 12-year-olds. I mean, there's even a young lad in Kent who's playing Super League at the age of 11, and he's contending against people like David Vavzevsky, who plays here on a regular basis. The JDC have done an awful lot with academies, and over the last 10 years, they've drip-fed us positivity, but now it's hitting us in the face because it's happening every single year. We applaud that. We want more of it. And I think we need to get it in the ladies' game or the girls' game next, because that could be just as revolutionary.
Well, Thomas Banks is going to join an illustrious list of names that makes it through to Champions Week in a few weeks' time. And you look at the players in there, he's going to be in the mix come week 13.
Things are definitely bubbling up, aren't they? You look at Scott last week, he was excellent. You got Thomas Banks this week, Tom Sykes, do not forget about him. All the way back to week 1, he will be ready. He will be ready. And Jimmy Van Schie, of course, who's had his name sung here tonight by a plethora of Jimmy fans. Imagine if you've got Banks and you've got Scott and you've got Sykes and Van Schie in a finals night here at the end of the month. My word, you don't want to miss that.
The other side of the coin, because there's always two sides of a coin in the final. Conor Heenahan didn't play his best in Group A, but really turned it on tonight. A man who's getting 2 finals. He's won 1 now. He's becoming a player that when he comes here to the Super Series, you're expecting him to get to the end game.
Yeah, that's true. He's someone who always gets his way to the championship match. But this is one of those instances where he has to hold his hand up and say, I was beaten by the better player. He didn't get a match start. He didn't even get a chance to take us all the way to the final leg. But I think in a couple of days when the dust settles, he should be very proud of himself, because in the first 3 days, he didn't provide his best. Tonight, he stepped it up a notch, and come the next series, he'll have another crack.
It's got a little bit quieter in here. 1 or 2 of the patrons have now departed for home, but what an evening we've had. And that crowd, well, we've seen it a lot with Conor, with Jimmy Van Schie, and some of the other players that now come down here and have built a real allegiance of supporters here at the Live Lounge. We're getting some very special Saturday nights down here.
We are, and we thank people for coming down. It's a very, very generous offer that the Modus Super Series give you of just a couple of quid to reserve your seat. It's going to get to the stage where people look at nights like this saying, I want to be there, and we might have to start turning people away. So make sure you get your tickets nice and early for week 10, because that could be just as loud.
Well, if you do want to be here on a Saturday night, it is www.dartshop.tv to book your tickets to any Saturday evening here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. And you are very much up close and personal with the players. Actually, one of the nice things about this evening, I know we've spoken about Simon Adams, but Scott Campbell also stayed over. He didn't qualify. We also saw Tom Lonsdale. He was eliminated early on and stayed in the auditorium. That's one of the nice things about the Super Series. There's a real companionship around this tournament, and the players get the chance to mingle with supporters and vice versa.
Yeah, I think some of these players who were involved tonight, they want to see how the night ends. And some of them, they come here not even playing on Saturday night. They want to see the end product. And they're what the business world call completer finishers. And you want to be the complete finisher. It just so happens that it was Banks tonight. But I said in commentary with Phil that if you haven't succeeded this week and you stick around, watch the semis, watch the final, drink it in, and then make that stoke your hunger for the future to see if you can get that moment for yourself in the future.
Final word has to go to the champion, Thomas Banks. Now, he's got to be in action tomorrow in Aylesbury. He's got to get there for about 8 a.m. to register for the final round of Championship Tour events. How's he going to fare tomorrow? Does the adrenaline just course through, or could there be a crash? How do you think he's going to fare in those games?
Yeah, there could be a crash. In a lot of cases, there is a crash if you've got to play something so fast after it. But I sincerely hope that he just rides the wave of the confidence and crashes his way to the top of the rankings. I don't see why he can't do it. We looked at him from Wednesday to Thursday. We thought he's got a great shout of winning the group. He did it. And then he just kept going. So why can't he do tomorrow as well?
It's been great fun tonight. It's been great fun all week being in your company. Paul, thank you very much for now. We shall do it again soon. Thank you very much for your company. So what an evening we've seen here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Conor Heenahan came close to making it to back-to-back Champions Weeks, but it was Thomas who broke the banks to claim the jackpot. We'll see you on Monday.
Series 8 Week 9 champion, Thomas Banks.